Sure can.
Okay, I muted the other one.
Okay.
So it's good.
All right, we are live. So
welcome to Sane Sunday Live. We're going to go over the calendar events. As always, Super Chats will receive a channel review. We're going to have the events calendar. We're going to have the community news, and we have a special guest here today. Is Johnny Pro. Now, first of all, we have next Saturday, which is the 26th of May. We're going to have Cruising Car and Truck Flight Show at Tom B. David Field in Calhoun, Georgia from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, if you're not in that area, you're further northeast of Georgia, real close to the South Carolina line, right off of 85, is the Cars and Guitars Festival in Hartwell, Georgia. Yep, it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's only $15 to $20 to get in with your car, and you get a free T-shirt.
And do you get to hear a lot of music, I wonder?
I would imagine so, with the cars and guitars. And
I guess you have to pay $20 to hear the guitars, and otherwise you guys stick your fingers in your ears.
I forgot to write down which charities they benefit, but we have the first Saturday in June, which is the 2nd of June, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. is Street Side Classics at the Spring Car Show, and they also benefit local charities that I forgot to write down here. But Street Side Classics is always open, and well, I say always, they're not open like Walmart, but they have regular business hours, and there's always some classics there. But this is their annual once-a-year spring car show, so there is going to be a ton of interesting and cool vehicles there that happens about this time every year.
Well, hello, Terrific Toucan and Night Shame, our first two.
Welcome to the chat. The 9th of June, that Saturday, again, we'll have the Beat the Heat Dalton meet, which we've got a lot of good footage of this month. We haven't released yet, so be looking forward to that. Instead, I released some really good Mopar stuff from the last event we were at, because we're getting into some Mopar madness here for the next few days. And Johnny Pro is going to help us out with that here in just a minute. We've got the 16th of June is the Time to Shine car show here in Dalton, Georgia. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. It's going to be at the North Georgia Fairgrounds. It's going to be even more room for all the vehicles than there was last year. Last year, the Dalton Convention and Trade Center was packed with every type of vehicle you can imagine. Check out our videos on that, and you can see some of the coolest cars around and from far away. They come from far and wide. A lot of clubs come up from Atlanta for this and bring their cars too. Now, some more YouTube news. June the 23rd, that Saturday, is a YouTube call out at Gallant Motorsports in Benson, North Carolina. So cars and YouTube together again,
just the way
in North Carolina. All right, and some more community news here. We have another special guest on Sane Enterprises later at 4 o'clock, so we will be ending this at 3:30. And anybody in the chat, if you would, please tweet this out so we get more people in the chat. We do have Johnny Pro here, and he will be speaking here in just a minute. He's patiently waiting for me to slowly, methodically butcher the community news. We did have lots of TubeBuddy downloads. I want to thank everybody for that. We had lots of TubeBuddy downloads on our link that we put in the description of our videos. We have that TubeBuddy link. If you're not familiar with TubeBuddy, it will definitely help you out a lot with your channel. I go over some of the ways and things that I do editing the videos and promoting the videos and all that stuff on the Sane Enterprises channel, some tutorials and how to use TubeBuddy to help you with that. It's tremendous help, and there is a free version. Like I said, there were lots of downloads of the free version last week and a download of the paid version. That really helps our channel out. So we appreciate y'all using our link to get TubeBuddy. And y'all in the chat while we're talking and put down what goals have you met last week, and did you use TubeBuddy to help you meet those goals on your channel? We'd like to hear from you in the chat about that. Camaro time last week, he's got a new channel trailer and a video on why he chose the Camaro that he bought. And he was our first guest on Insanefriends on Wednesday nights that airs at 7 o'clock every Wednesday night. And what a great guest he was. And Gregory Salvatore has a favorite road challenge for everybody. So you need to check out his video explaining the favorite road challenge and what's happening with that. And I hope we can find the time to meet his challenge and do his challenge.
Can we go to I think my favorite road is the one to the waterfall.
The one to the waterfall, or maybe the one to Fort Mountain State Park. Either way, it's a nice windy road up into the Appalachian Mountains.
Because it's windy road is because we get to the end that there's a waterfall.
True.
It's pretty.
True.
That's what I like.
So it's probably going to be one of those two when we do the road challenge. Okay, and Gregory Salvatore was our second guest on Insanefriends on Wednesday nights. And our third guest on Insanefriends was Uzo Lou. And that was Camaros. Then Uzo Lou's, they have Mustang and Corvette. And Johnny Pro has on his channel some new footage of the New York Asylum dyno test with meets with burnouts. And he is going to be our guest today on Sane Sunday Live. And I will go over the rest of the stuff probably tomorrow while she's at work, the community news. Right now, we're going to get to...
You have that one and that one.
What we got? Chat. I can't see that. I touched it. It's a touch screen, and I touched it, and I messed it up. Okay, bear with me, guys. We're going to... Okay. Just getting caught up on what's going on in the chat. And Terrific Toucan found a Bugatti Veyron at the London Motor Show yesterday. And we have here in the chat, we have Night Shame. Good to see you. Terrific Toucan.
Terrific Toucan and Night Shame were the two first in our
kudos to you guys.
chat.
And Cricket Wilson Harris. Make sure y'all check each other's channels out and support each other.
And we have Lawrence
Hurt. Lawrence Hurt. And make sure you check out Johnny Pro's channel, who is our guest today. And Johnny Pro is going to tell us about his channel right now. How are you doing, Johnny Pro? It's great to have you here. I think your microphone's on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We can.
All right. You want me to talk about my channel?
Yes. What have you been doing lately on your channel, and what do you plan to do here recently? I think you had some stuff about the New York Asylum and the dyno test.
Yeah, we had a big meet out on Long Island on the 28th of April with Growl's Garage and RT Life. They both put their cars in the dyno. We had a little car show. And then we left and we went to like a remote location, and we continued the car show, and we did a bunch of burnouts and just talked and hung out. It was pretty much in the middle of nowhere, so there was a cop that drove by, but he didn't mess with us. But there was a bunch of shenanigans going on out there for the most part.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a great time. It took me, I think, 25 hours on my car, and it was worth every minute. It was a great time. I think it took me like 15 to get out there and 12 to get back home.
Oh my goodness!
Now tell everybody about your car, the car that you took to the show.
I have a 2016 B5 Blue Charger Scat Pack with a 392 in it. I got it. Well, my previous car was a 2001 Dodge Stratus RT, and I had that for 13 years. Mm-hmm. And whatever broke, I fixed myself. And finally, I broke 2 axles on it, and I broke the radiator tugging it back to my work. And I'm just done. I know it's only cost me about $150, $200 to fix, but I was like, I'm done with this car. And so I went to the car dealership, and I was eyeballing a plum crazy one from a local dealer, but they just wanted too much. And then I seen the B5 in person, and I fell in love. And so I went to a different dealership, and I said, find me this car. I just want this color and a sunroof. And they found it. They had to trade their Hellcat for it. It came from Illinois, and came on a flatbed, and they delivered it to me 3 days later.
And how long have you had it?
I've had it since April of 2016.
Okay.
The
and
car
how's it been treating you?
It's, for the most part, pretty good. I did have a problem with my hood recently. There's some corrosion between the steel latch and the aluminum hood.
Well, you are in the north, so rust is part of the game, isn't it?
Kinda, yeah. They didn't treat the metal properly, from what I hear, on the 15 and half of the 16 models. And so I recently took it back to the dealership, and I asked for a Hellcat hood if I paid the difference, because they were going to replace the hood. And they told me to take it to, they didn't have a body shop, so they told me to take it to a body shop by my house. And they got a really large estimate, so I don't think they liked that. So they declined me at first, and then I took it, and then they were like, we'll take it to our body shop we use down here. And I talked to that guy for a while. And he kind of talked me out of getting the hood and stuff, because he didn't want to, he's like, my car is too pretty to repaint. He's like, you're going to devalue the car. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, I don't care about the value. I'm not going to sell this car ever. I told my wife, if the kids don't want it, put me in it, dig a hole, and just slide me in the grave. Me in the car.
Wow.
I'll take it with me. I don't ever plan on getting rid of it, ever. I mean, this is my 4th car, and I'm almost 40. I mean, I take care of my cars as long as I can.
The last one you said you had for 13 years, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
That's a long-term relationship. So if you have the same kind of relationship with this one, then you might as well just do whatever you want to it.
I still got it. It's sitting at work. It's been sitting for 1.5 years. I could fix it if I wanted to. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I looked at a scrapyard and they only want $150 for it. I'm like, it's worth more than $150. So I just haven't made up my mind what to do with it, to be honest with you.
Cricket Wilson Harris wants you to say something in chat, so they can get the link.
Oh yeah, so they can find your channel. That would be a great idea.
It's Johnny Pro, all one word, JOHNNYPRO. You'll see a little Mopar symbol.
It'll be easier for them if you just...
Oh, and put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put anything in the chat, just pop a wheelie or anything, then they can just click on your icon, and they can all go support your channel. And
Learning and Hospitality just showed up.
Cricket Wilson Harrison said, smash the like. Thank you, Cricket Wilson Harrison, for telling everybody to smash the like button. I would appreciate that. Very helpful. Johnny Pro, there's his channel right there. Johnny Pro with the Mopar symbol.
Awesome channel, by the way.
Oh yeah, and
I appreciate it.
I'm a Mustang girl. We all know that.
I know that, yeah.
But I'll cheat on my Mustang every once in a while.
There ain't nothing wrong with having more than one car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is if the other one catches you.
We got a few of them in the same space right now, and they seem to be getting along just fine. And one of them's peeing gasoline, and the other one's peeing something else.
Well, I remember your truck challenge. It was like 18 different vehicles.
Yeah, and I've slimmed down This is my crazy days. But and
sure.
I didn't show all of them because some of the things aren't worth looking at.
Yeah, so I went out there, RT Life. Oh, I communicate with him quite frequently. He's kind of like the leader of our group, of our Mopar club.
He is at least a pillar of the community, the Mopar community, if not the leader.
And I told him, I'm like, I'll go out there once this year, and you can pick whatever one you want me to go to. And he goes, come to this one. I said, all right. So I met up with, I don't know if you follow Shaka 252, but he's just south of me about an hour and a half, and we met up in Ohio. And I made another video about this. We met another YouTuber by the name of Build It RT, and we all met up in Central Ohio. And he ran with us for a little bit because he was going to a junkyard to get some new wheels. And we took over I-70 for about an hour and a half, driving like crazy, guys. But it was a lot of fun meeting new people. It really is.
Yeah, I think that's about the best thing about the car community, besides supporting charity when we go to the car shows that support charity.
Mm-hmm.
Just meeting the different like-minded people.
Yeah, it's better than I imagined, to be honest with you. It really is. A bunch of guys. Nobody argued or nobody acted. You know, testosterone didn't get too high. Everybody got along. There's about 50 plus cars that showed up there.
Yeah, well, most of us, we did all that stuff when we were younger, and now that we're a little bit older, we know better ways and safer ways to do that. Like y'all were doing with the burnouts, and you find a kind of out of the way space with a nice straight road, and everybody there is, you guys, and y'all know what you're doing, and you're more careful about it. And it's not like you're just sitting at some red light at the crowded intersection. It's a much more safer way, because we've all learned, some of us have learned the hard way what to do and what not to do and when to do it.
Yeah, totally. We're getting too old for that. I don't want my insurance going up.
Exactly.
Yeah, so my channel's mostly just about my car.
Burnouts is not how insurance goes up. It's when you burn out and hit something.
Yeah, that's right.
If you avoid hitting something, you're okay.
You get a reckless driving ticket.
Yeah, and your tire salesman will love you.
Yeah, that's no lie. I burnt the stock set of tires and wheels they gave me. I just use those for burnouts. All my videos, I'll just swap my tires over and just burn those things off. The one pair is pretty bald.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got a separate. I think we were talking about that on chat at some time, like a month ago or something. And because you had another video with your car roasting some of those tires. And I was like, oh, God, I hope that's not your new ones, because you had just got some new ones or something. And I keep a separate set of wheels and tires for the Mustang.
Yep.
So that I can play. And then I've got this nice set that are like the original Firestones with the GT500 wheels and stuff that was original for the car for the shows. But the other ones are on slot mags, and it's a 72, and they didn't offer slot mags until 73. So the slot mags don't go on there for the shows and stuff. They're just for play. They're also wider for the back. Wider than stock on the back.
Awesome. Yeah, you don't want to burn up good tires aren't cheap. Not cheap at all. I was thinking about getting another set of drags just to go up to the drag strip and try it out. But I don't know if my wife will let me spend that much money.
Camaro time. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, his last video was awesome. That was a really good video.
Camaro time is just awesome in general.
Yeah, that's no lie. That's no lie there. That must have took a lot of patience to make that last video he had. Yeah,
and he just made two new channel trailers, which one of them looks like it'd be good for setting a completely different mood than the other one.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, they're kind of like opposites.
Yeah, opposite ends of the spectrum right there.
Yeah,
and
you can pick and choose whatever video he puts out.
Right, and this is a good example of some of the stuff that you can, even if you're not part of the car community and you're not car crazy, you're in the chat and everything, and it's a good example of why you should go ahead and support in the community other people that's not got the same kind of content that you do, or even sometimes when you're not interested, as long as it's good, clean, family fun content, you can learn by watching how people make these intros and the kind of intros they make and the videos they make and how they make the videos, and then apply your content to the same thing. We don't mind people taking our ideas and learning from the way we do stuff, because we're here to help each other in the community. And that's what the reasons why we not only deal with a lot of different channels and have a lot of different types of channels in the community, we deal with a lot of different communities. We've got the Mopar community here, the Camaro community, the Mustang community, the Sane community, the I Am a Creator community, all these different car communities. And we've had a lot of people from the fishing community and the outdoors community that have a lot of great channels, and the off-road guys and the mudders, and even the guys with the mud mowers and stuff, where they modify their riding mowers and make four-wheeler type vehicles out of them, and just a whole bunch of great people coming in and out of the community all the time. And we connect with them. We help each other with our channels and stuff now. And
we all got the same. We all got the same interests, just different styles.
Yeah,
exactly. And so we have a great balance of similar interests and different styles and stuff, so that we're not really competing with each other. We're just helping each other out.
And that's called diversity, which
True.
Is awesome in any community. I mean, if I were exactly like him, there would be two of him sitting here, and it wouldn't be.
And it would be awkward.
Like Camaro time? There's two Camaro times sitting in his Camaro. Yeah, I started out about 6 years ago. I was into RC racing. It's the cheapest, funnest way to get involved in racing, and it's the same as a car. It really is. You set the car up. I mean, it's all the same suspension, weight, everything. And I made a couple of YouTube videos, and they were nothing, And then I laid off, and then I bought my car, and both my uncles bought the same car. They bought a 2016 Camaro SS2, and that blue, and they're both manuals. And so he sent me a video on my cell phone of his car. And so I wanted to one-up him. My parents were in town, and I brought my mom up to an abandoned parking lot and did a big burnout. I think that's my first Mopar video. And I sent to him, and I just I'll just put it on YouTube and see where it goes. And then I started following other people that had this similar car and seeing what they were doing with their cars, give me an idea what the options are for me. And it just took off from there. I mean, I'm probably on YouTube at least 2 hours a day watching, catching up.
He's on there more often.
Yeah, and I use the my strategy of how I respond to comments and handle comments as an excuse to go on other people's channels and watch their videos, and also to give me a realistic goal on just how much other stuff I can watch in between making videos and stuff like that. Because if I give preference to the people that's come and commented on our videos, not only am I returning the favor of commenting on their videos after they commented on ours, I also get to watch their material and learn from it. And I get a lot of ideas that way on not just what videos to make, but a lot of ideas on how to make some videos. I see some things, though, that I don't know how to do. Like Camaro Time does some of the greatest shout outs you can do. And I've seen some really good shout outs from another guy that does the motorcycle vlogging. But one of the things that Camaro Time does with his shout outs is he puts in the lower corner of the video down here like a picture in a picture, and you can see the other person that he's shouting out. You can see some of their video playing right there. I don't even know how to do that. And but I'd like to learn at some point and start including that one, maybe when I'm doing the community news and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm still learning. I got kind of lucky in college. Two of my roommates were film guys. So they were making movies all the time, and I would help them. And I learned some stuff, pretty much the basics from them. I mean, they had top of the line stuff back then, but now it's, that was 12, 13 years ago. It's all outdated. So when I bought a camera and a computer just for YouTube, and it's working pretty good. I use a MacBook Pro, and it's got some iMovie on it, and it does a lot of it. I can do the picture-in-picture. I don't know if I can do it with motion picture in the corner. But like you said, I still got to experiment with it. I'm still new to it. I noticed a lot of guys, I can't put up graphics like people do. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the neat things about, like, we have the YouTube call out thing.
Camaro says to let him know when you want to learn how.
Awesome. Thank you, Camaro Time. One of the great things about things like the YouTube call outs in North Carolina, when people are going to show up at Gallant Motorsports, is that, face to face, and what you were doing with you met all those guys at where you did your video with the
New York.
Yeah, New York. And if you get face to face with people like that, sometimes you can whip out the phone and stuff, and you can actually physically show, oh, well, you want to know how to do that? Well, you just press this, press that, press the other thing. And then, but what's really good about being face to face with somebody and sharing information on how to do things like that is they got the opportunity to say, oh, well, wait a minute, show me that one thing again. Oh, my phone page doesn't look like that. And then they can whip out theirs and say, oh, it looks like, oh, you need to do this thing and that thing, which is a little bit beyond what we can do with our tutorial videos, like what we do on Sane Enterprises. And so it's another level of helpfulness that you can do with each other when you can have these events and be face to face and meet each other and actually hang out together. And the car thing is one of the things that helps draw us together like that, and all these car events and cruise ins and things like that. It's a really good tool to use, since we all like cars anyway, to get us all together and help us out with our YouTube channels as well.
Yeah, one thing I found really challenging at the meet was socializing with everybody, shooting the breeze, and then trying to get information, not trying to get information, but just sharing experiences. But you still want to film everything at the same time. And it feels like I did more socializing than filming. I was kind of disappointed at the end of the day when I went back to my hotel and I watched some of the stuff I got. And like, oh man, I didn't get it as much as I wanted to get. But you get some gems in there too. I had a slow motion burnout that I was really surprised how well it turned out, to be honest with you. I set my camera up on a little tripod, and the guy that was doing the burnout was Growl's Garage, and he said he was going to use this line lock so the car should sit still. Well, his car scooted up about 2 feet, and I didn't have time to move my camera. I was using his camera to film him as well. And when I got back to the hotel room, it turned out beautiful, perfect. I couldn't believe how good, because it had half the frame was his burnout, and the other half was everybody watching his burnout, reacting to it. And it just turned out so good. The slow motion was perfect. And as soon as he scooted away, you could watch everybody stand up and just get excited. I was like, oh, it turned out so great. I couldn't wait to go home and make the video.
Yeah, that's awesome when you're going for one shot and you get a little bit disappointed because you think you didn't get the shot you wanted, and then it turns out you got an even better shot than what you were going for. So that is pretty awesome. And that's one of the things I've been learning too about filmmaking, to include more people And because, you know, I like the cars so much and I would focus so much on the cars. And you can see this in my earlier videos. And then, so the later and later the videos, you'll find more information and more people and more about what the people are doing at the event, what kind of charities they're trying to raise money for and stuff like that. Because the people make it more interesting than just the cars. And, you know, there's kind of a happy balance right there. If you can get just the right amount of both the cars and the people, it could be a third level of interesting for everybody, including yourself, than just getting the cars.
It is a fine line. It really is, between doing both of them, especially if you're a one-man crew. If you're doing everything yourself, that's one of my biggest issues, is just not having a cameraman. You know, I have to figure it all out, do it myself, and I only get a couple hours a week to make a video. I got 2 little ones, and my wife works 40 plus hours a week. So I mean, time slows me down for sure. But if I had another guy to help me, it'd be much easier. So I've really been trying to expand to get more than one camera. I want 2 or 3 cameras rolling. I want different points of view. And I also learned editing is very difficult with more cameras. It's a newer skill I haven't quite learned all the way yet.
Well, I think one of the things that we both have done is we've actually made the editing more difficult for ourselves on purpose, because we're trying to make more interesting videos. And a lot of what we're trying to do with our videos and what we've been doing with our videos, it comes from doing more complicated editing. And like you said, you want to do more filming too, which, like you just said, is going to create more editing as well. But we have found a few things during our filming that we can do if we do our filming in a certain way and in a certain order and things like that, that we can minimize to an extent some of the editing. But then at the same time, we're always checking out other people's channels and looking for ideas and trying to see what great habits they have and trying to emulate the good habits and copy the good habits. And as we do that, we usually end up adding more editing time to ourselves, imposing more editing time on ourselves by picking up other people's good editing habits. Like what I was wanting to learn from Camaro time, because I know that is something extra he's doing in editing that I'm not doing in order to put that picture in a picture on there. That's going to create more work for myself. But if we're going to improve and have better videos, you know, we got to do it.
Yeah, and that must have took him a decent amount of time to do that and get all that timing out too with the second guy sitting in the passenger seat. I'm sure he wrote a script out, and I don't know how he got the timing so good. He only messed up like one little spot. And there was another guy that used to do that in the Mopar community, but he passed away, God rest his soul. His name was 392 Life, and that's the first one I seen to do that. He would argue with himself. One was kind of like the good one was kind of like the soft bad one, and he would do little arguments with himself. And it was, yeah, he's missed in our community for sure. That was rough, unexpected.
Yeah, I remember when that happened, and I didn't know him as well as you guys, but I do remember, because you mentioned it, that when you mentioned it, that he was the guy that did the arguing with himself thing. And
yeah.
At the time when he passed, I didn't know his name well enough to know that he was the same guy that was doing that. And now that you mentioned that, yeah, that was him. That was the guy.
Yeah, that was a total surprise to me. He had just won a football like challenge that we did. Growl did, and he had won it. And I guess Growl was just about to send his package out, and he got the news. I got the news from one of his daughters. Just messaged me on YouTube, because I didn't personally know him All I knew was through YouTube, and she wanted me to like let everybody know. And I made a video. I can't remember what she asked me to. I think she did ask me to make a video, and that was hard. I made a pretty long video. I got copyrighted for it because I threw in the music I wanted. I didn't care. I don't get paid for any videos, so it's worth the strike or whatever. But the video turned out really good. They all thanked me, a bunch of his family, and it was just a sad moment. It was just unexpected. But he was supposed to go to a meet. That's how I found him. Is he went to a lot of the big name meets, like the one in Cecil County. He had a lot of footage from that, and I started following him through there. And then he started making more personal videos, so to speak. And they were very entertaining. I loved all of them.
Once you learn how, it doesn't take any more time. Sorry, Johnny. We got 2 messages from Camaro Time, one for you and one for us. So, Camaro Time says, Saneauto, once you learn how, it takes no time at all. Talking about the editing. And for you, Johnny, he didn't script it. It was all freestyle. That's
impressive to get that timing like that. That's very impressive.
He said it took him 2 takes to get it, though.
That's impressive. Only 2 tries. Because he's got a good 5 minutes of doing that. That's not easy.
Right. And then, because I do, even on tutorial videos, there are some part, I'll segment my stuff, and I'll do like, bust it up into like 5 different segments when I'm doing a tutorial. And then I think I actually did a video on this, telling people to break their stuff up into segments, because there was a couple of the younger guys in my mastermind group that were like trying to do their tutorial videos just like from start to finish and recite everything. And
that's hard.
Like, dude,
that's really hard.
Just break it up into segments, because I can do like, I'll get like 1, 2, maybe 3 sentences depending on what it is, and then that's a segment, and then I film that, and then I'll grab another 2 or 3 sentences, and then I'll film that, and then I'll put those pieces together. That way I can do 1 or 2 takes, but every once in a while I'll just get, I don't know, scatterbrained, tongue-tied, whatever, and I'll hit a piece that just doesn't flow right, and I'll get on like the 3rd or 4th take, and I'll be like, I got to rewrite this segment.
Yeah.
Because if it's that hard for me to recite, it must not be my style. It's not my style of speech or something. There's something wrong with it. I've got to rewrite it, make it sound more like me, and then it'll just flow out of me, and then I can get it in 1, 2, maybe 3 takes. But
and I need to excuse myself for just a moment.
I've seen some people that are just so good at some of this stuff that it looks like they're doing like a whole paragraphs or just almost a whole tutorial in one segment, and it just flows. It just flows. And I think some of those are well, they're not as scripted as what I do.
Yeah, you give out a lot of facts, and I like that when I watch your videos. You go into detail about the car, and that's what I enjoy, because I don't know all these numbers, but I know the car.
Well, I appreciate it, and the feedback like that really helps us a lot, because I'm just like anybody else. Sometimes I get demotivated and sad or depressed or whatever, and because I've got other things that I'm into, and it seems like everything pays more than YouTube.
Yeah.
And whether you look at it from an effort basis or an hour by hour basis, as far as monetarily, everything pays more than YouTube at this point. But there is a tipping point coming, like most businesses that don't pay very much in the beginning. Some of those types of businesses are the ones that have the most potential to pay the most later, if you put in all the work for free or for very little pay up front. Most things that pay really well in the beginning that pay about that same amount for the rest of your life. And there's no hockey stick or, increase in pay later on. So if, and you can see that if you look at some of the larger channels and stuff, people that have already gotten a lot further than we have, and what they're doing, and then try to backward engineer it. But there's another thing you got to watch out for there too, is if they're too much larger than your channel, they're probably doing totally different things to grow to the next level than what we need to be doing right now. And I think what we need to be doing right now is mostly what we are doing right now. Keeping in touch with each other, communicating with each other, and strengthening our communities and helping each other out, and bringing more awareness to what the car communities do, the good things that the car communities do. And because there's a lot of people out there who either for whatever reason will show nothing but the bad habits of a certain few people in the car community. And some of that is so that they can get a lot of views and a lot of quick success right away. And they're not worried about the long-term consequences of that. And that kind of makes the rest of us look bad, because we don't go out there and do those kind of shenanigans. We do some shenanigans. They're fun shenanigans, but we do it in a much safer way. And so we need to kind of stick to our good habits, and even if it's not getting us a whole lot of return right now, I believe we'll get even better return in the future if we stick to our good habits and our good family fun family content. We'll end up being on top later, or at the very least, we'll get at least as much success. It might take longer, but we'll be more proud of what we did.
Yeah, it feels like we're all interns right now, just waiting to get that big promotion,
Right.
I mean, if you put out quality product, eventually word will spread around, and it will take you. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Because I really, this is a hobby for me. I haven't seen a nickel from Google AdSense. I made it and I got cut off in like 2 months later. And so I kind of took a different approach to it. I just want to put out quality video. Like I put out a video of a song. It was a song I had stuck in my head. And in the beginning of the song, most people don't know the song. It's not a very popular song. But in the beginning of the song, it sounds like a guy getting into his car, shutting his door, starting his car, and listening to the radio. And so I edited it to where I put myself in that. And so when his car door shuts, my car door shuts. When his car starts, my car starts. And then I go on a cruise, and it's kind of a heavier metal song. And so I sped up. I did like a driving video. So when the song goes heavy, my car goes faster. And that took me about 5 hours to edit, because I had it done in about 3 and I just wasn't satisfied. I really wanted it, to all match up. And I'm very proud of it. It didn't get a whole lot of views, but I still watch it.
Well, that sounds like a very interesting video. And maybe sometime you can shoot me a link to that so I can see that particular video.
Yeah, that's no problem. I can do that.
Yeah. I've noticed that some other people do really well with timing the music to what's going on in the video. And I think that is an incredibly smart thing to do, because, in some of the higher budget movies and stuff like that, it does give a much better flow and feeling to the video, the scene, the movie, whatever you're doing it to, if the music more closely matches what's going on visually.
Yeah, that's something I've been doing probably the last 6 months, is trying to pick maybe a song before I start the video. Because I've noticed that in the past, I would make the video and I'm satisfied with the video. I'm like, well, now I'll put my music to it. And the music didn't always line up. And then I was like, well, the music really fits the tone of the video. So I go back and I have to move stuff around, re-edit the whole thing. And so now, just to save time, I usually pick a song first and then match my video to the song.
Right. And I had upgraded to a paid version of the TubeBuddy. from my free version, and I've just discovered recently, I made a video about this on Sane Enterprises, that where I show where you can go into the TubeBuddy and you can see where this free stuff comes with your paid version of the TubeBuddy. And this is the cheapest paid version. And you still get this whole page full of free stuff with it. So I was exploring that, and I found that there is a thing with music in there that I didn't have access to before. And I'm going to be exploring that in some of the future videos and putting some of that music on the newer videos. All the music you see up to this point is the copyright-free YouTube music that I get off of the YouTube, and which is a good, safe way to go, especially long term, because you don't have to worry about, you're not dealing with some third party that may or may not, you know, want to hit you up for money later, and then you've already got videos out there. But this is a third party, but it is through TubeBuddy, and they've got copyright-free music on there, so that it's a trusted site. And I'm going to use some of that, so I might have some new music on there and pay a little bit more attention to the mood of the music that I've got, because I'll have a bigger selection.
Yeah, I tried that third-party music a couple times. I asked a couple bigger channels where they're getting their copyright from, and I didn't quite get it. I didn't quite understand it. And just sifting through all the music is a day in itself. You know, there's so many tunes. But I found out if you play a non-studio version of a real artist, they usually don't give you a hit for that.
A non-studio version? What do you mean by that? Like a live version or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's a good tip for everybody in the audience here too. So you usually don't get a hit for if you use like a live version and a non-studio version.
Until they watch this and then they change it. Yeah, I've done that a couple times and I haven't received any copyright marks for that. I heard that from someone else. I can't remember who, but it seems to work for now.
Yeah. I have got maybe, I think 2 videos out of my 400 plus videos. I've got like 2 videos that I did put something on there that was copyrighted and just took the hit and lost the money because I wanted that song to be on there because of the type of vehicle it was and everything. And instead of getting a copyright strike, what they did was they took the monetization money. Instead of me getting the monetization money, they got the monetization money, and they're still getting the monetization money for those 2 videos. But then one of those videos, I did a later version of the same car with different music, and I changed around a couple of other things about the video that I feel were improvements because I wanted to explore that video in a different way, or at least that car in a different way. It ended up being a different video featuring the same car with different music, and I actually got more views for that second one that didn't have the copyrighted music than I did the first one. So
you must have made good changes.
Well, that, and I got a tiny bit of satisfaction out of the fact that because it's always kind of irked me a little bit that the people with the copyrighted music get all of your monetization money, not like half of it. Because it seems like there's no value for the video creator at all if the music creator gets all the monetization money automatically. Then that kind of devalues what the video creator is doing. And I always felt like it should be more like a 50-50 split. You know, somebody makes the video, the other person makes the music, maybe they should split the money. Not just because this person makes music that they're somehow more valuable than anybody else in the world other than football players.
You would think like you could buy the song like a movie does.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could buy it. Maybe you could buy the song like a
Well,
movie
we
product?
don't make enough money to get to pay the royalties though.
Yeah, is that what it is? The royalties is like 20 grand or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they think that their music is worth more than our video makes completely, and so that they're doing us a favor by taking what little money that our video makes, and we should be happy that they even allow us to do that.
Well,
but either way, I did get a little bit of satisfaction that, you know, I had that copyrighted music. They were taking and still take all the money for that video just because their music is on it. And then the other video that I did without their music ended up making more money. And so they get the money from the lesser performing video that actually did less well with their music on it than the one with the non-copyrighted music. And but another thing I do, because of the way I feel about how they work the money and the music, is the people that are willing to let you use their music for free. Even though you don't have to, I try to put somewhere in the description, or I used to do it at the end of the videos, and I want to get back to that. It's just been some time constraints now. I try to put some kind of mention of who the artist is and what the song is, so that, you know, they'll get some kind of recognition, name recognition and stuff for that, because they are letting us use their music for free.
Yeah, some of them make you, I believe, from the creator studio.
Yeah, and they're on the opposite end of the spectrum from the ones who want all of your monetization money if you use their music.
Yeah, music can make
how
or
old
break
is
you.
that little baby I'm hearing in the background there?
He just turned 5 months old.
Aw.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Wow, so you do have some family concerns.
Yeah, I got two tiny ones.
Wow, that's a lot of
What's
work.
the other one?
The other one's 2.5.
Terrible twos. I remember that stage.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
No, we decided to get them both out of the way now because we're older.
We're so lucky to be at this stage in our life where all ours are grown.
Okay, I'm the opposite.
We have been there. We know what you're going through, if it's any consolation.
My mother just left. She's at a different stage in life completely. She doesn't. She no longer understands the concept of going to work.
That must be nice.
I don't know. It's made her a little ditzy, I think.
You need a good hobby.
Yeah.
Well, right now, I think they are on an interesting, since we're all car people here, we've all gone on those epic journeys. They are on an epic journey right now in the car, driving all over the United States. They came here from Washington State, and we're in Georgia on the complete opposite corner of the continental U.S., and they left today, and they're out driving some more. They're going to go down to the Tellus Museum and see the cars that we videoed down there, the turn of the century cars.
They RVing, or are they just driving?
They're driving.
Are they?
Yeah, they're driving all over the U.S. So
in a Dodge Caravan.
Yeah, the Chrysler New Yorker version of the Dodge Caravan. That's all just rebadged.
All right, Mopar.
Yeah, they are Mopar across the U.S.
They got in an accident on the way. Nothing happened to the van. That's good.
Yeah,
nothing happened to them. So that's
the fender bender?
The car in front of them hit somebody and tore that car up. And my mom was driving and she couldn't stop in time.
Yeah.
So she hit that car.
Yeah, but it didn't really hurt the van that they're in.
No. Yeah.
Or them. Or the dogs.
Or the dogs.
They got 2 dogs in the van with them. Hauling them all over the U.S.
Scary stuff.
I drive too much to drive for recreation.
Do you drive for your work?
Yeah, I drive a large truck.
Oh, a large truck, like
a dump truck.
Oh, a dump truck. Okay. Yeah, my dad drives for Rosedale.
Oh yeah,
big rig. Yeah.
Yeah, I see people talking on their phones all day. It's mind blowing how many people are on their phones.
Oh yeah, I've been guilty of it myself, and then I catch myself, and I'm like, "This ain't worth it." You're gonna end up in a ditch or something.
I see a lot of people texting. That's what's scary.
Yeah, that is the hardest thing in the world. That's even more distracting than talking on the thing, is because you got to look down there and find those little bitty buttons and press that stuff. And there's got to be a solution, a better way than that. Yeah, my
daughter.
Right now, you just got to avoid doing it.
They tried to get the cars to Bluetooth with the phones, and they thought that would solve the problem. But I'm sorry, I don't see that many people using Bluetooth on their cars. I see them like this.
Yep, probably 80% of the people I pass will pass me. They're on their phones, or they got it up at the steering wheel going like this. It's like, oh my goodness.
Most of the cars have Bluetooth, people.
Yeah, almost all of them. A lot of them will. My car will. You got to pay a fee, but it will pop up right on the center. Right on the center. Your text message, and you can just talk, and it will type back to them. But you got to pay like $10 a month on.
But that's worth it. I mean, that saves lives.
It would be. If you're going to use your phone,
you're going to have to. I mean, if you can't wait 10 minutes to answer a text, you should get a service like that.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, work. I got to pull over to the side of the road. I can't drive. I'll just pull over.
But that's one of my pet peeves. I mean, I hate it. I hate to see somebody texting and driving, because they're taking not only their life in their hands, but they're taking somebody else's life.
Yeah, if not many. I mean, most of this I see on the expressway. You're going 70 miles an hour. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people go even more. I wouldn't know who would do that.
I don't know.
But yeah, now I guess it's even more critical.
He has cute brown eyes.
I think it's even more critical if you're in a big truck like that, a dump truck or something, because you can't stop as quickly as other people. So if they do some shenanigans in front of you, and because they're not paying attention, I mean, that could be disastrous, and stuff like that can turn over. We just lost another guy here on one of the road crews nearby because the truck overturned. And I think there was a car, something did something, and it ended up jackknifing the truck, and then it went over and it crushed one of the guys on the road crew. And that's another horrible guy that's not gonna go home because some kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, it's not worth it. There's ways around it if you really got to do it. There's hands-free ways,
Yeah.
And who can't wait 10 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got any more videos coming up soon on your channel?
I do. I got I put that Hellcat lower air intake in, and I did some testing with that. I filmed that. That was that turned out great. That's worth every penny.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got on my way back, I made a wrong turn and ended up in Manhattan, so I filmed some of that.
Oh, that's always fun when you get lost.
Oh yeah, it was a great time.
It's awesome.
So were you actually on the Big Island and driving around there with your Mopar?
Yeah, I ended up going through a tunnel and came out on 37th Street and took it south.
Braver than I am. I get on the subway when I go there. I just ride around. And when I'm not on that, I walk.
It wasn't too bad because it was Sunday at 8 in the morning. There wasn't too many cars on the road.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess so.
On the way there, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. It was horrible. 2.5 hours to go about 20 miles.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah,
that sounds like Atlanta traffic.
Yeah, it is. I thought Chicago was bad, but this was a whole different level. But
Is that where you're at in Chicago?
You definitely don't want to go to Atlanta either. That's the worst.
I've been to Atlanta a couple times. It's not fun.
They build more and more and more and more and more freeway, and it gets more and more and more congested every year.
Yeah, people are making babies faster than they can pave pavement.
Well, and that's one of the cities they were talking about on that insurance company that you sell for, Haggerty, for the classic car insurance and stuff. The guys from Haggerty, they were having their big meeting. They had one of the guys from GM and a couple other really important guys in the car community. And they were all talking about the self-driving cars and how a lot of the bigger cities, including Atlanta, will be the first of the cities to outlaw human-driven cars, and somewhere in the next 20 to 30 years, because when they replace in big inner cities like that, us driving the cars with self-driven cars, they'll be able to get rid of a lot of the traffic and all of the red lights, all of the signage, all that kind of stuff. They don't have to keep that up anymore. And they can put whatever money they put into traffic lights and signage and stuff into the roads. And at the same time, they won't have to have nearly as many parking lots and no side street parking. The side street parking can be lanes. And because the self-driving cars that they're planning on using in the bigger cities are going to be not owned by us, but shared usage cars, where we on our cell phones just call for a car to come pick us up, and not our car comes picks us up, but a car comes picks us up, takes us to wherever we want to go or outside the city. And if us that still have our own cars, will park outside the city and get in one of these cars, go wherever we want to in the city, and then the other cars will take us back to our car, and we can drive off to our out-of-the-way place. And that'll be like the transition period before all driven cars end up being the way horses are now.
Oh,
they'll be gone by then.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna hang on to I'm gonna hang on to my steering wheel car for as long as I can.
I can't imagine not having a Mustang.
Yeah, I didn't even want the option for the adaptive cruise control. I'm like, no, I don't want any robot touching my car. I want to be in control of it all the time. I want
it, but I'm not sure that I'll trust it to really, really use it. But I do use the regular cruise control a lot. So I have a feeling that I will get used to it and start, but it's gonna be really, really scary for me to give up any more control than I already do.
Really?
Because I like steering it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have a problem. You give up control of the driving all the time to crazy idiots like me.
Well, I want to say hello to Gregory Salvatore.
Well, hello, Gregory Salvatore.
And
Hussein Kazi.
Hi.
Okay, and so who all do we have in here right now? We have Camaro Time. We have Gregory Salvatore. I know Toucan's in here somewhere. Cricket Wilson Harris.
Learning Hospitality left.
Learning and Hospitality.
Kind of in a weird way.
Okay.
But, I think that's it.
Night Shame. Night Shame is here.
Haven't heard from Night Shame in a while.
Yeah. Well, he may be doing one of his own lives. He does a lot of lives on his channel. A lot of gaming lives.
I've noticed that the live thing's getting pretty popular.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we didn't do live for a long, long time. And even after we were active in the I Am Creator community for a long time, we were meaning to do lives. And we were keeping the live schedule for all the I Am a Creator and the Sane community for everybody that was doing lives. And we've got so many people doing live now that we can't keep up with it anymore. I don't think anybody can keep up with it anymore. But we do our lives on Sunday, like right now till 3:30. And then we do another live from 4 o'clock till 5:30 or 6, which we'll have a guest on that. That's Sane Enterprises, but it's not really automotive, but we do have a lot of automotive people show up because they have channels too. You know, it's all about channel growth and stuff like that. And then we have the Insanefriends live on Wednesday nights, which you know all too well. We were having some serious technical difficulties last
I think
Wednesday.
You would be awesome hosting your own show. So if you ever decide to go ahead and do a live,
oh yeah, we'll
be your guests.
We'll be your guests. We'll come to your chat, whatever you need.
I ended up doing a live last Wednesday.
Yeah, after we were working on those technical difficulties.
I stayed up till midnight that night, man. I really wanted to make sure it worked. I really did.
Well, you got it figured out because we're rocking and rolling today.
Yeah, I had to make about 5 phone calls from 5 different people, but it works.
Yep.
Well, that's another thing too about that helps all our car channels and stuff grow, is because most of us car guys are really used to running into problems and having to figure out problems. And for most of us, the problems we run into on YouTube and internet and stuff like that, no matter how difficult it becomes, and frustrated we can step back and we can at least say, hey, you know, compared to all the other stuff we do, at least I'm not getting burnt, bruised, or bleeding. Yeah. And we get through it and we figure it out and we learn, or we call somebody and ask.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to ask for help. There's no doubt in that.
Yeah, when you're not afraid to ask for help, you get things done a lot quicker and faster. But you know, I have been guilty myself sometimes of just trying to bullheaded go through something without asking.
Yeah, muscle through it. I don't do that I learned that lesson. I read the instructions now when I buy something.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing I do. I haven't had any problem with reading instructions and stuff. It's just sometimes I have a problem with giving in and calling somebody and actually asking somebody about something, because I will hit the books. I will hit instructions and stuff. And sometimes I'll do that before I even try to figure something out. I'll read up on something or watch videos or something like that, because I've always been like that. I like having a combination of reading up on something and physically being in there at the same time, because it seems to stimulate 2 different parts of the brain that need to work together. When you can see something and feel something, it really gives you a great perspective on it and a great way to figure it out. But when you read up on something too, it's kind of like you're listening to somebody that's telling you how to do it. It's just that instead of them talking to you, they wrote it down at some time in the past, and it's right there for you to read.
Yeah, I use YouTube for that quite often, especially now that I own a house. I'll just look something up, and usually there's an expert or somebody that knows better than me, and they'll show you step by step. Yeah,
that is one of the biggest advantages to YouTube, and I think one of the biggest reasons why YouTube has more views now during prime time than television is because
Build It RT's here.
There's so many people. Welcome to the chat, Build It RT. You know, television never had that. Television never really had the intelligence of the people on YouTube. And not that there weren't some intelligent people on TV, but they weren't allowed to express that intelligence.
I didn't see Downtime. How you doing, Downtime?
You know, the way we are. I mean, we can get on there and show how to do just about anything and everything, and in our own unique ways. And television has always had a narrow kind of, you know, they've got these buttons they want pressed that they know get lots of attention and views from a certain demographic that is spotlighted by the Nielsen rating system. And that's pretty much what they stick to. And it makes you wonder about why here lately YouTube seems to be coveting and gravitating towards a lot of getting more of that television type content on YouTube, when I think YouTube proved already that what YouTube does and the way they do it is better than television. So why bring a bunch of television into it? That's a little backwards to me.
Yeah, it seems like YouTube wants to be TV and TV wants to be YouTube.
Exactly. And
I don't get it.
Exactly. And YouTube to me is better than TV. You know, I mean, it's kind of like when you look in your toolbox. If you got a tool in your toolbox that looks like it's the greatest tool in the world, but the one sitting beside it is the one you use all the time, then the one you use all the time is the better one. Because, I mean, the proof is right there. If it's got lots of wear on it, then it's your favorite tool. Even if the other one is shinier and you show it off to your friends, the one you're using all the time is the better tool. And the, you know, YouTube, it got more views than television for a reason. So I don't think they should be copying or incorporating so much of television and television stuff. But, you know, they may know something I don't know.
It's just a shame that they just can't leave it alone and let it work itself out.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it seems like it's steadily going downhill from here, it seems like.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
Well,
improvements aren't improvements.
We're getting to the last 10 minutes of the show here. 10-minute warning, people. Is there anything you want to tell your fans, Johnny?
Well, people can see my face. This is probably only the third time I've showed my face on YouTube. That was kind of my gimmick there for a while. I just didn't, I don't know. I had some maybe law-breaking videos up.
Oh.
Me speeding around, but I took them down once I decided. I knew once I went to this meet, I was going to show my face. We did on Friday night when I showed up, they were at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and they were doing a live stream, and I'm like, I had a plan. I had a backup plan. I bought what is the actor's name? I can't remember. I brought like a mask. It was like a glasses and the fake nose and the little mustache and the big eyebrows.
Yeah.
And that would be Groucho Marx. Yeah,
Groucho. Yeah, Groucho. I had a Groucho mask that I got from Amazon for like $4. That was my backup plan. But I knew the next day I wasn't going to wear that around. So now I kind of said,
Build it, or it says take off the glasses.
The glasses is I like to wear glasses on film because my eyes wander around a lot. So if I wear glasses, it looks like I'm always staring at the camera.
Right.
They got a little ADD, I guess.
And you're right, because you mentioned that, and I realized as soon as you mentioned that I had been assuming that your eyes were fixed upon the camera the whole time. Yep. And I never even thought of anything else. So
yeah, it works.
That's another videography tip.
And Build It RT
for everybody that's
says
listening.
Just giving you a hard time, LOL.
Yeah, he likes to bust my chops.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool cat. I met him early and we ate breakfast that day before the meet.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, he's got a really nice loud car. That thing was impressively loud. I couldn't believe, like, the camera never picks up the audio.
No,
but
not completely.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Can't, I mean, it's not only audio, because if you're standing behind a car picking up the audio, trying to get the sound, you don't get that feeling in your chest.
The vibrations.
From the
like
sound.
that supercharged T-Bucket that we got some really good audio from in that one of our latest videos from Hot Rod City, and he's leaving the meet, and we got some good footage of that, and got good sound of the engine running and everything. And yeah, it's different behind and the side and everything, but that, like she's saying, on the camera and stuff, you can never get that what you feel from your feet. It's making the ground rumble. You know, some of them do, and you can literally feel it. And sometimes some of it you can feel the sound, the shock waves of the sound touching you, hitting you in the front. You can't get that on camera.
The first time I went to the Chevy U.S. Nationals, that changed my mind forever. When you're sitting in the grandstands and those two cars shape the ground that you're sitting on just by going by, it changes your perspective for sure.
Yeah.
NASCAR is the same way, sitting in those benches in NASCAR.
Yep.
And you can feel that. You can feel that vibration in the benches.
But what is NASCAR? It's just cars racing around quick. And everybody in the stands are saying, when are they going to wreck? When are they going to wreck?
Yeah, that's true. That's the highlight, so to speak.
Yeah, that is.
I used to watch a lot of NASCAR, but we used to gamble on it. I worked at a bar, and we had it's a lot funner to watch when you got some money on the line.
Well, they're saying they're going to make gambling in NASCAR legal now.
What do you do? Gamble on who's going to wreck first?
No, we called it the Dirty Dozen. It was 12 employees, and we all had like 4 drivers that we picked out of a hat. And if that driver wins, you win the pot.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, Go
ahead.
One of the garages that I worked at long ago when I was really young, every year they would load us all up on a bus once a year, and we'd go to the NASCAR race together. And it was this was a place that had 9 locations at the time. They have 12 or 13 locations now. So we had 9 crews, and well, not everybody went. So probably the equivalent of 6 or 7 crews. And our crew, each garage had 3 to 6 people. So we had a busload full. And I was one of the only guys that didn't drink. So I was probably one of the few sober guys when we got there. And, but yeah, that's one of the things that convinced me to go back to owning businesses and being the boss again when I left there, because when you don't smoke or drink or anything, a lot of places, if you don't smoke or drink or any of that, you're either the boss or you're the odd weird guy that doesn't smoke or drink.
Yeah, it is weird because I don't drink either.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. You know, it feels awkward if you're the only one.
Especially Monday morning,
everybody's
talking about all the drinking they're doing. It's like
when I get around people who drink or smoke or do things I don't do, I just sit back and laugh at them because, I mean, they drink. They're gonna show their butts.
It's totally different if you're the owner or the manager and you don't smoke or drink, because then they look at it like, oh, he's the boss. You know, it's kind of expected. He's going to be the one that's going to be sober and in charge and everything and look out.
Somebody's got to be responsible.
Exactly. And so it's a lot more comfortable that way.
Yeah, it's not easy going in Monday and everybody talks about how much partying they did. It's like, well, I mowed the lawn and watched the kids all weekend.
Well, that was my fun. Not mowing the grass or taking care of the kids, but being with my sweetie.
There you go. Planting rose bushes.
Yep.
So are you gonna do any more lives and stuff since you've conquered that and you were doing some last week?
It depends on how much time I have, to be honest with you.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, it all depends. I don't know. My wife's schedule changes sometimes, and sometimes I just want to go in the car and drive, just for 45 minutes or an hour.
Oh, our rose bush is looking great, by the way. If anybody wants an update on that.
I thought about
your Carol Sane channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a rose bush that's out of control, and I seen it today mowing the lawn. I was like, Saneauto did it too.
Yeah, we had to cut some off of the yellow rose bush because it was out of control.
And we're going to put it in a potato, stick it in the ground, see if it grows again.
It should.
Yep.
My mom used to do it all the time with cups on this windowsill. Put a tater in there and watch it grow.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, it's supposed to, if you put the rose into the potato, it's supposed to stimulate the root growth and give it vitamins that it needs to grow.
It's like a natural miracle grow kind of thing.
Yeah. So we're going to try it and see.
Awesome.
He says he's done it.
Yeah, and that was a long, long time ago. And then since her mom was here, and
she recommended it.
She mentioned it, and I'm like, duh, I forgot all about that. I just stab it in a potato. So
it's hard to remember and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially since he's been kicked in the head so many times.
Totally my fault.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do with the future of my channel. To be honest with you, it seems like I've spent enough money. I don't know what else I'd really want to do to the car. I kind of like it how it's at. Maybe some drag tires, and maybe I'll take it racing. I'll start filming some racing.
Yeah, now if you're going racing and stuff, so we don't get to go to the races very much. There's a lot of interesting racing out there. A lot of the other guys have got some racing and stuff on their channels, and what I would suggest is check out what they're doing, and get some similar content. And you're already got a head start on that because you got the awesome burnouts and stuff like that. And now I do say that about our channel, but we do have some burnout videos and stuff. They're older videos from there was another charitable event.
You had one in your last video, didn't you? With your Mustang? Didn't you have a burnout?
Yeah, I did that with my Mustang too. Didn't I? And but a lot of the burnouts and stuff I did wasn't quite as up close as what I did with what you did and what I did with my Mustang. It was a little bit further away because they were on the drag strip. But there was a lot of police cars doing burnouts and stuff. As a charity fundraiser, they were drag racing, and I was filming the burnout portions. And it is also called Beat the Heat, but it's a Beat the Heat charity event by police officers, not to be confused with the Beat the Heat Dalton meet, which is a cruise-in meet here in Dalton.
And two totally they occasionally do charitable things.
Yeah,
like
not burnouts. They don't do any burnouts. They do, charitable things sometimes.
They collect toys for Christmas and
things like that. So that's going to be. They're coming up in the second week of next month. That'll be the 12th of next month. We'll be there again.
Bye, Gregory,
we have a video from there.
We're about to get off of here too. We have about 30 seconds.
Yeah, because we got to take a break in between.
I want to thank you, Johnny, for coming on. It has been awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a true honor. It really is. I was excited. I had to wait 4 extra days, but it was worth it.
Oh, yeah. And I'm glad we finally had you on. I mean,
you're the first one to ever be on a Sunday.
All right.
We do that on Wednesdays and everything, and we do the community news and the calendar.
But since we couldn't get you on Wednesday, we had to get you on today.
Right, and we were excited too. We wanted you on here as soon as possible. Not just
now. Who are we having on Wednesday?
Wednesday. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to announce on Wednesday.
You're gonna love it, Johnny.
It's David Builds Vlogs.
Mustang Mania! Yay!
And you might he changed the name of his channel from was it Magnetic Mustang was what it used to be, and it's now David Builds Vlogs. So we should be having him on Wednesday.
We were on
Insanefriends show.
Jim Cox with him. It was a great show.
James Cox.
Yes.
Right.
James Cox.
We have some Jameses in the family, and people call them Jim.
Oh, did I?
Jim and James gets interchanged in our family. Yeah, they called him Jim.
Oh goodness, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a compliment, Big Jim. All right. So, but yeah, it's been a great pleasure. Thank you for being on our show and making it such a great show. And thank you to all mine. And thank you to everybody in the chat for coming. And here in about 30 minutes, we'll be on again on the Sane Enterprises channel. And we have an interesting guest coming on there, somebody that's new to our corner of the community. And y'all get to meet them and hear about their channel.
Not car related either.
Right. It is not car related. And but it will be interesting. And we really appreciate Johnny Pro for being here and for bringing some more Mopar to the community. We were nothing wrong with all the Camaros and the Mustangs and everything else we have, but we would like to keep it balanced out. We love all the different kinds of cars, and we like having a little bit of everything.
Everybody has their preferred car, but cars are cars. We
personally also really appreciate the Mopar community that was really there for us and a lot of other people, even before.
Yeah, the Mopar community is beyond awesome.
Before we started the Sane community, which we started that before the I Am a Creator community even existed.
You always feel welcome with the Mopar guys.
Yeah, even if you're not Mopar.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very welcoming.
They're awesome. Well, let's get off of here before we stay on all day.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right. We'll see y'all later. Thanks you.
Much love. Mwah.